Okay, so welcome to the next craft. And this craft is we're gonna make a keep the change. So it's
Keep the
this
change,
one.
you filthy animal.
Keep the change, you filthy animal. Okay, it's this one right here. So you got two boards in your kit. So one board is like this, and the other board is a short, fat square. You want the long rectangle board to make your keep the change. So first, Jarrett is going to he is going to use his leftover unicorn spit stain from his flag, and he decided he wanted to do stripes because his room is decorated in the American flag. So he is going to do stripes. Okay, why don't you do two thick? That way you don't have so many on there. So I think 2 swipes thick would look better.
Yeah, I think it will too.
Why don't you go over that again? There you go. So it is a stain, so it's don't get too much water.
Blue is really light.
Well, usually you go with the grain of the wood, which you would go up and down instead of across.
Oopsies.
So see how that works better?
Yeah.
So normally if you stain, you go with the grain of the wood. And so going up and down, it would be better if you went up and down, but going across, whatever, it doesn't matter. It's a kid's craft, so
Whatever the kids want.
they can stain it however they want. If you have any kind of other stain, if you have a brown stain, if your parents have any kind of other stain, this one is done in a brown. If you have any kind of an other stain that you want to do on there, totally fine. Do whatever you want. If you don't have a stain and you're like, I just want to color it with markers or crayons, that's totally fine too. No problem. So while he does this one, I am going to tell you that you need out your hose clamp as well while he's staining. So you need your hose clamp. You need your little bubble packet taped of screws, and then you are going to need a screwdriver, a Phillips head screwdriver, and a flathead. And you're also going to need your jar, your canning ball jar, okay? So you'll need those. And Jarrett is going to be staining here for just another minute.
Almost done.
That's fine. So you can take as long as you want to decorate the wood and make it into anything you want. I would tell him once he gets done with this part, we won't do it now, but later I would have him come back and do the sides so that it wraps all the way around. So you'll want to make sure that you pay attention to the sides of the wood as well. Especially if you're going to have it hanging on the wall or somewhere where people will see the sides. So yeah, that's going to look good, Jarrett.
Thank you, Mom.
So he can put a few layers, thank you. He can put a few layers on if he wants to come back and paint or stain, some more on there. He can make the stain colors pop a little bit more. So currently he's just staining away on his keep the change craft.
Keep the change, you filthy animal. That's from Home Alone.
I know. So you can do the top. You want to do the top one again? A little more, like up here. Another layer, another coat.
And then I need blue.
Yeah. So, here, always having a rag is good because if you spray the paint or the stain with that brush, it does kind of splatter everywhere. Okay, so he's about finished up with his stain, and then we are going to decide. So it doesn't take very long. We're just gonna we're like on a cooking show on TV. We're just gonna let it sit for just a minute, and we're gonna pretend it's dry. We're gonna go on. You can let yours dry. You can even put a clear coat of polyurethane on it if you have it or want to get some. It's not very much, a can, and you can just spray it on, and that would protect it for a long time. You can, next, we're going to take our jar and we're gonna decide where we want our clamp at. Jarrett, do you want your clamp down low? Do you want it up high, in the middle?
Right here.
Right there. Okay, so this is your clamp. You're going to take your screwdriver, your straight head screwdriver here, and you're going to twist this little screw here backwards until the clamp pulls apart. The reason that you're going to pull the clamp apart is because you are going to take these little screws. We need to open these up, Jarrett.
Okay.
So you want to get the scissors up there. And let me see if I can get them.
Never play with scissors at home.
Scissors, our saying is that stuff is a tool, not a toy, right?
TNT! Tool, not toy.
Tool, not a toy. So scissors are a tool, not a toy.
TNT.
Okay, so you're gonna get your 2 screws, and I would say that you would go ahead and have Jarrett put your jar back. Okay, so we're gonna line up our clamp is gonna be about right here.
So just below the bottom outcrop.
Okay, yep. So you're gonna wanna hold that right there with your finger. So you're gonna wanna line up where you want your jar on your wood, and you're gonna wanna have your clamp around this portion of the jar right about here. The reason that you do that is so that this lip will hold, the clamp will hold the lip on when you tighten it down. Let me show you this picture again, right here. There is, see how it's right under the lip there of that, so that it will hold the jar. Okay, so we are gonna take this first screw. We're gonna put 2 screws in it. This is pretty, this wood is not very hard. It's pretty soft. So see how I'm just using my hand and I'm just screwing it in. You might want help from an adult with this one, this portion, because it does get kind of tight, but let me stand up. See if I can. You got it, Hope?
Yeah.
Okay, let me show them the screw there. Okay, so we're gonna attach 2 since it is going to hold a jar. But if you see it right there, there's 1 screw. I just did it with a screwdriver, so in my hand. His is still a little wet. You would want yours to dry first, but obviously we're in TV time.
Can't take that. It's a live video.
Yeah, we're in TV time, so we're just going to move this over a little ways and put another screw in.
Just right through the middle?
Yeah, if you want to.
Yeah, right in one of those
Yeah,
lines.
you just go through one of the little slits there and just screw it in.
It's an old-fashioned automatic screwdriver.
Okay. So we're just going to tighten them in. Okay, so you might need Mom or Dad's help with this part. So there you'll see that I've just put in 2 screws just through the clamp. No big deal, super easy, okay? So now Jarrett is going to take the clamp and thread this back through. Let me see if I can show you.
It's hard. I've never actually thread it through. I think you might not actually want to take it apart. Might be easier if you don't take it apart.
Well, I think you have to just tighten it and tighten it and tighten it. There we go. So you do have to, so let me show them this, hold on. So in order to get this hooked back, you have to stick this back in there and then start turning your screw and it will catch. And as you turn this screw, it will tighten the clamp. So you'll want to put this in and then and then can you tighten it for them and show them how he's just gonna get on to tightening. No. Here we go.
It takes a while.
Yeah, it does. So it does take a little bit of time. Yep.
Small.
This is a hose clamp. So this is good. This is like arm exercise for kids. Keep going, Jarrett. You got it.
I'm used to it.
Okay, so as he continues to go on that, so you just keep going with your screwdriver until the clamp tightens all the way around the jar. Line it up, there you go.
Once it starts to get pretty
Yeah,
tight.
when it gets up there, you're gonna kind of want to hold it so that it stays out away. The bottom of it is obviously gonna stick out a little further because of the top, you know, being sticking out further, so it's not going to be flat on the wood. So you're going to want to hold the bottom of it out a tiny bit so that it stands straight up and down when it hangs on the wall or whatever. We might not gotten it over far enough.
Over far enough for what?
Well, it's going to hit the wood, so I don't know. We might have to unscrew it and then screw it back in.
You never know, but it probably will hit the wood. Because there's a lot of loose.
Yeah.
Over here.
Okay, so Jarrett and I made a mistake. So this is how we learn.
Probably want to
Okay,
put this
so-
screw on the very end.
Yeah, so here is where I did the clamp, right? And so now you see that this is hitting the wood. So we're going to have to use our screws and start way over here on these lines, way over here, the very beginning, so that we have enough length to get the band tight enough. So, Jarrett, if you want to, can we undo it? So we're gonna go backwards.
I got it. Okay.
Here, let me help you. Let's try to go back in the same holes, just on a different place on the clamp.
Yes.
Okay?
Then it only makes 2 new holes, not 4 new holes.
Okay, so this is about problem solving. Okay. All right, so we'll go over.
I feel like that's in.
Is that the?
I feel like it is.
I don't think it is.
Somewhere in there.
Okay. Watch your hand a second.
It's.
Is that on it?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's easier. No, I think.
Not really, it just looks easier. That's because I'm strong. Okay, so we're going to tighten this back down again. And we're going to put the other screw back in.
That one right.
Okay. Okay, so this one is definitely going back in easier.
Or maybe it's just because you're strong.
Or maybe it's because I'm strong. There we go. Okay, so Jarrett's going to put the jar back in the clamp, and then he is going to continue tightening the clamp.
This is our longest video, I think,
That's okay.
so far.
You're fine. So really a fairly easy process, just as long as you I would make sure that you let your wood dry with whatever you do to it, whether you color it with markers or crayons, or you stain it, or you paint it. You could paint it with something.
I would like to undo this and put polyurethane on it.
Polyurethane, yeah.
Stain it more and put
Yeah,
polyurethane.
you can.
Okay, it's actually starting to get a little tight. I can slide this back a
I
little.
would just try it to get it pretty tight, a little tighter.
It's like hard though.
Oh,
I don't think
because Jarrett's got it pretty tight on there. Okay, so here is what it looks like. So now it is on there. So he can lift it out the top. So if he wanted to keep his change in it and then empty the change out, he could definitely do that. If he wanted to finish, his wood, he could definitely do it with this on there or restain it some more and then put the jar back. So you can either drill through here in order to hang it, or you could put a little hanging bracket on the back, whatever works for you. If you don't have anything, a hanging bracket, you can grab, here's my water. You can just get off the pop tab and you can hot glue a pop tab to the back, and that would be just as good as putting a bracket on the back. So what Jarrett's gonna do is finish staining, but basically you can add, let me show you this one. You can add any kind of vinyl lettering, any kind of stickers. You could add whatever you want to the top that says keep the change, you filthy animal, or like Jarrett says all the time, or whatever you want to do. But basically it's your craft, but that is the mechanical part of how you put that that piece together. So with just the
change, can we put that on there?
Just 2 of the screws, and then the hose clamp and the little jar. So, okay. So that is the keep the change craft, and we hope you, along with the dogs, we hope that you enjoy and have fun. So, okay, say goodbye, Jarrett.
Bye.
Bye.